Dreams. At some point in our lives, we've all had them. Now, I've always found it interesting that some people have fantastical dreams where they fly through the sky, and others have mundane ones where they're just late for work. Some have a little bit of both. Because of this, I've always been fascinated by the concept of our dreams meaning something. Now, obviously, if you have a stressful dream about missing work, you're probably just stressed about missing work, but that begs the question, what does it mean when our dreams aren't close to reality? When we're flying through the air or breathing underwater? Does that mean something? Today, I'm going to be browsing 3 subreddits, r/dream, r/dreams, and r/dreaminterpretation. Here, people post their craziest dreams, and other people try to help them figure out what they might mean. Maybe we can help a few people figure out what they're dreaming about. So let's start things off light. The first one's extremely deep and meaningful. Dreamed of a tiny water bottle for isopods. That's cute. I don't think anyone could find a problem with that. Would the surface tension of water allow this to work? Tiny drops of water tend to ball up rather big by bug standards. Though I've seen insects just take nibbles of a water drop to get their drink. There's always one. Anyway, this next one's a little personal. Does anyone else have sagas of dreams? Not just waking up and continuing the dream if you fall asleep again a minute after. But I wound up having the next episode a few days later, sometimes weeks. So I've had conversations with people about this exact experience. I've had it happen to me twice when I was a little younger. It's a really interesting experience, and it's kind of cool to follow up on what happened the night before. I just remember there being a big battle at a hockey rink on the first night. The second night, we all kind of met back up and just talked about the battle the night before. I think all war could be avoided if this was the norm. Hey, Greg, how's it going? Pretty good, Pete. Hey, great battle yesterday. Oh, same to you, man. That maneuver you guys pulled on us when we were surrounded was fantastic. I would shake your hand, but... yeah, sorry about that. Sometimes I get a little carried away and chop off an arm or two. Please, don't even worry about it, man. Hey, where's Carl? You, killed him yesterday in the battle. Oh, yeah. Maybe we shouldn't fight over such stupid questions. It wasn't stupid. I mean, would the surface tension of the water allow? Alright, let's get to some serious dreams and dissect what's behind them. Half a year ago, I died in a car wreck. After being resuscitated, I had an unconscious dream. So, about half a year ago, I was in a technically fatal car accident. I was resuscitated by the paramedics, but I eventually woke up in the ER while getting stitched up. While I was asleep, I had a weird dream. So, when I got into my wreck, I was immediately knocked out cold. I don't remember the wreck at all. I had a dream where I had also gotten into a wreck, but it wasn't bad in my dream. In my dream, I also remember walking around my wrecked car and picking up some items that had fallen out. I also put my front bumper in the back seat. As I got back in my car, I woke up in the hospital. The weird part is, that's obviously never happened. It was all a dream. I broke my leg and had to get the jaws of life to get out. There wasn't any way I was walking, but I was knocked out immediately, so there's no way I even knew I got into a car wreck. Also, those particular items I was putting in my car, a charger, some clothes, my gym bag, and one of my college books, and my front bumper were placed in my car how I out them in my dream. But it was done by whoever cleaned up my car wreck and towed my completely totaled car. I've tried finding answers, but I usually end up with nothing. So I've seen this phenomenon a lot, and to be honest, I'm not a very spiritual person in the slightest. A lot of people attribute this to a spiritual experience, and who knows, maybe they're right. In my opinion, it's a coping mechanism. Can you imagine how intense it would be to go through this experience? The amount of adrenaline, shock, fear, and everything else shooting through your body must be insane. I think that in moments of insane stress, our brains try to convince us that things are still fine. It's the same reason that it's so hard to accept when someone close to us passes away. That's just my personal take on it. While we're being serious, let's take a look at another existential dream. I had a nightmare that has messed me up for days now. I think I went to a multiversal death hub. Hello all. About 2 weeks ago, I had a very existential lucid nightmare that I can't get out of my head. It's to the point where it's been affecting my waking life. I need some outside help making sense of what it could mean. For context, I have existential issues involving what my purpose in life is, or even if I'm supposed to exist at all. So it began in a black void with a warm-colored aurora in the sky. Directly in front of me, there is a hooded man with his left eye missing that looks like an older, grizzled version of me. Same look, same voice, eye color, scar on our upper lip, everything. He's looking into a circular stone fountain-looking thing with a bonfire positioned on a raised platform in the middle. Around him, in every direction as far as I could see, were hundreds of thousands of gravestones. All of them had a vague endings written on them. For example, the Swiss ending, the atomic ending, the fantastical ending, etc. Some were filled in, while most had empty holes in front of them. I approached the man in the middle and politely asked who he is and where I was. He simply responded with this: "You know where we are. This is where we all go to die. Now find your grave. I'll help you out when you get there." I responded with, "My apologies, pal. I'm not dead yet. Who did you say you were again?" "Does it matter? We're all the same here anyway." That's when it occurred to me. All these graves were for different versions of me, from different realities or universes I don't know. I was fairly certain that I wasn't dead, and this was all just a bad dream, so I decided to explore and possibly see which gravestone in this labyrinth graveyard was mine. As I walked, I started to feel a tug on my chest, like my heart was being pulled in a certain direction. I followed the pull for what seemed like ages. Eventually the graves just stopped, except for this one gravestone sitting alone just outside of where the rest of them lay. As I approached, my soul felt like it was sitting next to a cozy fireplace. So I had the feeling that this grave was mine. I eventually got close enough to read it had it not been for the dust and debris that covered it. It looked old and dilapidated, yet it still had an open plot in front of it. I brushed off the dirt covering the gravestone, and what I read chilled me to my soul. The bad ending. The old man came from beside me. What an unfortunate soul, this one. Feel real bad for him, you know? I think that's me. What? No, it couldn't. He's not... He looked at me. His face grew grim. "Oh, you're not supposed to be here yet." He then grabbed my face, and I felt my brain shock like it had been struck by Thor himself. Then I woke up, sweating, crying, and white-knuckled. It's absolutely messed with my mind ever since. Something that I've noticed with these is that often, the person that posts the dream borderline explains exactly what the dream is without realizing. They say, "For context, I have existential issues involving what my purpose is in life, or even if I'm supposed to exist at all." To me, this dream seems like a manifestation of a fear that the person who posted this already had. If you constantly worry about your purpose or destination in life, it'll probably show up in your dreams. I think often we look for answers when we kind of know what the dream is about all along. Anyway, all in all, dreams can seem like they have nothing to do with our lives, and sometimes that may be the case, but often they reflect our greatest fears, hopes, and desires in life. They give us a glimpse at the potential highs and lows of our futures, and they motivate us to head in the right direction. Without dreams, we may never wake up. So, that'll wrap up today's video. Thanks for watching, and thanks for sticking with me in this shift in my content. I hope that you'll